There are many changes and improvements made in Swift 5, and we're going to be looking at all of the important new changes. My name is Diodus. I have been programming for 15 years, but I have focused mainly on iOS development for the last 8 years. I have worked for many startups. I am also a co-founder of a popular startup in New Zealand and Australia. I have authored more than 10 courses on iOS and macOS development on different learning platforms. I have a bachelor and master's degree in computing and software engineering, respectively. I have been involved in developing over 50 apps, from medium to complex projects that are used by thousands of users. In my spare time, I enjoy reading and watching sports. We're going to be looking at all of the topics that will be covered in this course. In section 1, we're going to be learning how to detect if one number is a multiple of another number without using the remainder operator. We are also going to learn how to detect if a character is a number. And finally, we're going to learn how to check a Unicode scalar value without using hard-coded range of string that are hard to understand. In section 2 of the course, we're going to be learning how to use raw string, which is an improvement to adding characters such as single quote and double quote to strings, and not worry about escaping these characters. We are also going to learn a new way to do string interpolation. We're going to learn about flattened nested optionals, which improves how we check for optionals and prevent unwrapping multiple optionals in order to get to the final value. And finally, we're going to learn how to handle future enum values so that our code does not break whenever a new enum value is introduced into the API that we have used. In section 3, we're going to be looking at the dictionary literals, which is a lightweight key value pairs and behaves like a dictionary, but because it is not a dictionary, in order to avoid this confusion, this has been renamed. We are also going to learn how to use the new compact map values function on a dictionary, and finally, we're going to learn about codable range type. In section 4 of the course, we're going to learn about the result type, which makes it easy to handle the success or the failure cases when we perform error handling. We are also going to learn how to use the dynamically callable type, which allows Swift to work with dynamic languages like JavaScript and Python. And finally, we're going to learn how to use the identity key path. In section 5 of the course, we're going to learn all of the changes and improvements that are made to the package manager, such as dependency mirroring, minimum platform deployment, and target specific build settings. We are also going to look at the compilation condition changes that make it easy to check the version of the compiler or the version of the Swift and run different sets of code for each condition. Finally, we're going to look at the deprecated encoded offset variable and learn the new function that replaced it. In the final section of the course, we're going to learn how to migrate an old project to Swift 5 using the Swift Migration Assistant tool. We are also going to discuss some of the other things that must be done after the conversion of the Swift syntax in order to have a complete and successful migration. Finally, we're going to be learning what ABI stability means. We're going to discuss its advantages and why it is important for the future of Swift programming language. We're going to be looking at the course prerequisite. In order to fully benefit from this course, you should be familiar and already using the Swift programming language. A basic knowledge of the Swift programming language is required. Familiarity with the iOS or the macOS development is not required, but will be beneficial. I will be showing the latest changes in Swift 5 using Xcode from the perspective of iOS development. Course goals. At the end of this course, you should be familiar with the new and important changes in Swift 5 so you can start to use some of the new features in your own projects.